In the world of pressure washing, there is a new player in town. The good news for you, but the bad news for the competition, is this player is coming with some intent and some seriously good designs. That can only mean one thing: a forensic detailing video. Go ahead, punk. Make my day. So welcome back to the channel, guys. Do not forget to subscribe. So who are this new pressure washing company that have entered the game? Who are they? What are they all about? Well, their name is Ava. They're a Norwegian company that are already very big in Scandinavia and massive in Germany and are hitting the UK market now by storm. Well, one of their ethoses is about making machines that are built to last and are not sort of categorised as disposable, i.e. you go and buy it for not a lot of money, you run it for a year, it breaks and you go and buy another one. That is the opposite of what they're about. They're about selling you machines which are built to last, come with huge warranties that we'll talk about, and are serviceable, and as well as that build quality, have a load of ergonomic features that you won't find in most consumer-based or professional-based pressure washing systems. So now we know what Ava are, we need to know what these different machines are and how we get our head around the products that are available, because that's always the first bit when you encounter new stuff. So first of all, the four main machines, the Go series machines, these little compact portable systems you can see down here. We'll come back to it. Next up, the Smart machines. You could call these like the entry-level uprights, if you like. As we work our way up the range, we're going to have a little bit more features and a little bit more power. So this is like your starting point into a proper upright. Next, the Master series. So you're getting bigger, you're getting more throughput, you're getting perhaps higher pressure, you're getting longer reels by default, you're getting better management of your kind of hose cable. And finally, the Evo. I don't know why I do that stupid voice, but these are the top of the range ones with the best cable management, probably the biggest machines with the highest output potentially, and nicer kind of features as well with storage, and we'll go through some of that. So you could sort of say you start down here at the smaller entry level ones and you work your way this way up to the top level ones. And the thing I want you to remember: Go, Smart, Master, Evo. Okay. Next up, I want to talk about the equipment bundles that you can get. And this is kind of standard amongst all four of these machines. So you can get the medium bundle, the large bundle, and the XL bundle. This is very simple. Now, the medium bundle is obviously the one that they all come with. And that means you get this extension arm bar, okay? So that when you're doing the patio on the ground, you haven't got to bend right down with the gun and do that. Or if you're reaching up to do soffits and gutterings and stuff like that, you've got the reach. So you get this by default with all of them. One of the cool features with this is it has a customizable length. So you just press this button, lean it over, and pull it out to the length you want. Obviously, if you're reaching up, you might want maximum length. But if you're doing a pressure wash of the patios, you'll want to get it to exactly the right length where your back's straight, which is going to be different for different people. So you're not constantly leaning over. So I love the way that it's adjustable to different lengths. That's a nice feature that I haven't seen before. So that comes with all of them as standard in the medium bundle. They also come with their own short guns as standard. Now, what's cool about these guns, guys, is when you don't have the extension bar on it, you get the control. So it's great for going and using it to get into your wheel arches and point around. And if you've got the car up on scissor stands or jacks and you're cleaning the underside and you want that control, or to get into the scuttle where the washers are, you understand why it's really nice to have a kind of short gun. The cool thing about these short guns is they have a pressure sensitive trigger. So there's a little section of the trigger that while your fingers are just touching it very gently, it won't release. And the purpose of that is so that it's not on a really heavy spring, so you get no hand fatigue. So you could literally, here's my little finger, just hold that little pressure sensitive bit and it won't pop out. So that's really nice when you're using the machine for an extended period of time. It might be a larger vehicle, you might be doing a patio, to avoid your hands getting tired. That's cool. One thing that's worth mentioning, the Go series have got a slightly different gun that doesn't have that pressure kind of sensitive lock on it, if you like. But next year, they're going to make them all the same. So every single one of the machines that I show you here will have the gun with that nice anti-fatigue feature. The next step up the metaphorical bundle list is the large bundle, where you get everything I mentioned before and a basic snow foam lance. They do sell in their accessories list a better quality snow foam lance with the like metal blades where you get the thicker foam. So this is the basic one in the bundle. And then the ultimate bundle, the XL, where you also get a facade brush, however you pronounce it. The final thing to understand about the standard medium bundles is you get two nozzles. The twirly nozzle that you use for really strong blasting of patios and stuff like that. And then the adjustable fan out nozzle that has three different settings. One, the compact setting that seems to give you the most pressure. Then at the other end you get a much wider fan, which is better for low pressure final rinsing. So the compact one I would use for blasting the dirt when you're doing your pre-wash, and then the fan out one I would use for the final rinse after you've done your contact wash. And there's one in the middle which seems a little bit of both, and I'm not really sure what you'd use that for yet. That would require experimentation, but you've got that range of adjustment there, which is really cool. Now, one other thing, you're not allowed to have this twirly nozzle going straight on the end of a short gun. Why? Because if you accidentally have it in your hand like this and turn it on, that can be very, very dangerous. So this nozzle is designed to go in this fitment here, so it's on the end of an extension arm, so that there's no way you can accidentally point it at yourself and shoot. This nozzle here will go into the short gun, because it's not dangerous if you accidentally shoot yourself in the face. It's not going to be pleasant, but it can also go in the long extension arm. Step 3. Within each category, Go, Smart, Master, Evo, I'm getting that nailed now. There are essentially three different specifications or model numbers that start with P. So in this Go series, we have a P40, we have a P50, and we have a P55 that all kind of go up a little bit in specification. So the P40, for example, has a pressure output of 120 bar. The P50 has 130 bar. The P55, which is this one here, the top of the range in the Go system, has 140 bar. And I'm doing this all from memory without looking down. Now, the pressure of the bar is not the most important thing. The more important thing is the throughput of water. So for the P40, P50 and P55, the throughput starts at 390, 420 and then 450 respectively, okay? So the best spec that you can get within that line is the P55. But you're going to pay a little bit more. Now the prices kind of vary. You can shop around and I'll put a link to the Ava store in there. But to give you a rough idea, you might find the P40 starts at around £150 and you'll find the P55, the top of the range within the Go series, is around about sort of £220 to £230. The only other thing spec-wise you need to know about the Go series is that the P40 and the P50 come with 6 metre cables and the P55 comes with a desirable 8 metre cable. So straight away, out of those three models in the Go range, I personally would be going for the P55. So what type of person is going to be interested in using these compact Go ranges? Well, the key is in that word compact. So mobile detailers potentially, guys at home that might not have loads of space to store the bigger units, or guys that are on a budget, because these are the sort of cheaper prices. There is also the argument that lots of professional detailers, even studio-based ones, will have a large, powerful machine with more output, but then they'll want a smaller, more affordable machine that they can use as a backup when their main machine's being serviced, or they've got to do a mobile job. So it will make a good second washer as a backup as well. That gives you a rough idea. So we know who would use this now, guys. It's nice and portable, compact. Why wouldn't you just use this one and forget about the rest of them? Well, as you work your way up the line, you get more throughput, better cable management, longer cables, better electric cable management as well, and better kind of storage, so you're not bending down to put kind of to the floor where this unit will sit. So there are reasons why you wouldn't want to go with the entry-level Go, and these other machines exist. you get the idea now of what the Go is all about. So next we move on to the Smart series of machines with the P50, the P55 and the P60, which again, as you work your way up those numbers, you get a slightly higher pressure and slightly more throughput, essentially. Okay, so what does the Smart series machine give you that the Go series doesn't? Well, the main thing is it's an upright machine and you have the follow me hose reel. So when you're moving around and you're essentially pulling on this, you're less likely to twist and scrape the machine around and topple it. And lots of weight and extended feet on the bottom so the unit doesn't fall over. That's one of the things. So it will be less frustrating for people at home perhaps to set up quickly, and it will be easier to manage your cable when you finish by just reeling it back in. And this hose reel also has a locking feature and a fold away handle, which is quite nice. The other difference, as well as being an upright machine and having these feet and kind of anti-topple mechanisms, a low centre of gravity weight thing going on, is you have little storage places to put your accessories within the machine. So you've got your snow foam lance tucked away there, you've got your nozzles down there, you've got your extension bar, which is locked away. But the cool thing is, if you're using this and you just want to set it down, there's a little place for it just to go there. So you can put it down and you can access it a lot quicker than sort of putting it away for good when you're going to store the machine. So that's quite a nice little feature as well. Now, so next up, guys, we move on to the Master series. They're getting a bit bigger, they're getting a bit beefier like me. They've still got the follow me hose reel. They have even better topple resistance features, which I'll cover later on, and generally a higher specification of power and throughput. So let's just start with that. There's 3 units in the range, the P60, the P70, the P80, that all essentially look the same with a different specification. The P60 does 145 bar with 500 litres per hour throughput. The P70 is 150 bar with 540 litres per hour throughput. The P80 is 160 bar with 600 litres per hour throughput. That's the count from Sesame Street. Sorry. So we're getting into the realms here of nice, beefy, high pressure and high throughput, which you're going to notice there'll be more of a kick with this machine, and there's going to be a lot more water going through your car, so it does help with rinsing. It's also going to help with dirt removal when it's really stubborn, having that little bit of extra pressure. So that's one thing you're getting. You are getting also longer reels by default, guys. The P60 and the P70 have 8 metres and the P80 has 10 metres. 10 metres is nice. And one of the difference with the Master and the Evo series is with the XL bundle, you get a patio washer attachment rather than the facade brush. With the Master series, guys, and in particular this P70 unit that I've got here, I can really notice that step up in power and the kick that comes with that. And I think that's really useful when you're cleaning filthy cars and you want to get loads of that out in the pre-washing. It will also be essential when you're cleaning patio that's really dirty in its larger areas. So you get the idea. As you start moving up that specification, you get a little bit more grunt, and that makes easy work of heavier dirt. So you pay a little bit more, you get a little bit more. And also, guys, the extendable base on this unit and the extra weight make it really difficult to topple this. You'd have to be doing something very, very bizarre to knock this over. You'd literally have to keep walking when you feel the resistance and even give it a tug to get it to go. So that's pretty impressive. You're very unlikely to topple this machine, but you're also going to have plenty of hose length, so you're going to be able to keep it away from the car as well. And finally, the creme de la creme, the Evo series with the P60, the P70 and the P80 available in the UK. Let's just go through the specs, guys. So the P60 gives you 145 bar but 500 litres per hour. The P70 gives you 150 bar and 540 litres per hour. The P80 gives you a whopping 160 bar but with 600 litres per hour, so quite a large throughput there. It's using the same V4 pump that's also in the Master series. The P60 and P70 come with an 8 litre cable and the P80 comes with a 10 metre cable. The Evo series definitely has the best ergonomics. Even the positioning of the nozzles at the top of the machine is kind of desirable, so you haven't got to bend down to pick them up. It has the best electric power cable management where you can actually reel that in as well, so it's all tucked away without having to do any kind of coiling by hand, which is desirable. Like all the upright machines, this also has the follow me hose reel, but it has a machined metal handle and it just feels really sturdy. But I also like this little flat area that they've put there, because there's always things that you end up shoving in your pocket when you're detailing cars, or even it might be a wash mitt or a microfiber, and this allows you to put it onto the machine rather than like look for somewhere to put it that doesn't exist and have to go walking off somewhere. So like having a little tray area on the top of this machine I think is a good idea, and that will definitely get used. Overall, the ergonomics on the Evo are probably the best out of all of these machines. It's the top of the range one, guys. You're going to pay more for it, but if budget isn't the consideration, you want kind of like the maximum power, the best ergonomics, then it's definitely going to be the Evolution machine. One other feature that I really love is all of these machines come with heavy duty, non-kinking hoses. That is a really important thing. Beyond just the machine, guys, they have a catalogue of different parts and attachments and nozzles and bundles, and you can go through all of that and explore it to your heart's content. This gives you an idea of some of the things that you can get and some of the things they thought about. A really nice, heavy duty, feels like aluminium, extension arm that you can actually adjust the nozzle on. So if you're working on vans and you need to get over the top of the van, you can attach this to your machine and reach over and jet wash the top, which is very handy and is something that you need. But you can also flip it that way and get underneath for cleaning the underside and in the arches of vehicles. They also have a whole range of these metal extension bars that you'll probably see, which take up a little bit less space, a bit lighter, and you can click these on and this will essentially do the same sort of thing. You could use it to reach over the top or get underneath the car or go into the wheel arches. So that could be like a cheaper option. Explore the catalogue if you want fixed nozzles or nozzle kit bundles and different guns, and even like a rotator, so that you might have your fan going that way and you want to change the axis. So they've thought of everything, and it's got a GoPro mount on it. And check this out, even the plastic holder that you get, that you usually throw these in the bin, this is actually designed to be cut off across there, and it's got a hole so you can put a screw through there and mount it into the wall or on a batten or something like that, and have a row of them so that all the accessories you buy, you can then store them in your garage, you know, without having to go and pay for or design some sort of way of hanging them. So I think that's a really nice touch as well, and it saves you throwing away plastic when it has a use. Genius. They also have this kind of Chanel style mop that you can put onto an extension bar, and it comes in really handy when you're doing vans and commercial vehicles and you want to reach and do the contact wash in areas you can't get to, or cover ground a lot quicker. And if you're still not sold on how cool some of the design features that AVA are putting into their kind of pressure washers, they've got a really cool bucket here. Now, first of all, this bucket, you can use it as a detailing stool and sit on it, you know. You can also stand on it, and I weigh the best part between 18 to 20 stone, something like that. Don't like to weigh myself anymore. All muscle, of course. And look, I can stand on it. There you go. Now, I might not want to jump up in the air and push down as hard as I kid, but I can stand on it. It also has the lid on it, so if you've got the wash water in it and you're a mobile guy, you could put the lid on and still travel. It has feet on the underside which stop it sliding around when it's on the carpet, you know, in a boot of a car or in a van somewhere if you're a mobile guy, which is really cool. When you click the lid off, they've made it rectangular because a circle swirls the water around more. A rectangular bucket doesn't. It has all your scales and ratios and stuff for measuring your product. It holds 16 litres of water, which they think is an ideal amount, so you'll save from putting like 20 litres of water into the main bucket. It has their own patented grip guard, which is actually thinner on top than it is on the bottom, so it kind of cones out. So that's supposed to mean that the dirt falls through more than it can come up. Here's a really cool thing though. When you're not using the bucket, you can fold this like that, slot it into the bucket, like that, and you can store detailing products or even beers in there when you're travelling around and save space. So I think that is really cool, and it's got a handle on it. That just shows you what this company are all about. They're not just putting things on the market that already exist. They're putting things on the market that they think are better, and they've put all of this effort into the design, and I like that. There's more, guys. Warranties. The Go series and the Smart series come with a 10-year warranty. The Master and the Evolution series come with a 20-year warranty. The only condition there is that all these units get a service after 5 years, but it's a non-profit based service program where you can actually go online, order the service kit, which I believe costs around £30. You can do the service yourself, or you can send it off to AVA and they will service the machine for you. That is the only condition. These machines are built to last. Where you need to be careful, guys, is when you use your own guns, you're going to be using your own orifice sizes, and you might be creating more back pressure on these systems than they're designed to cope with. Now, with pressure washers in general, guys, by creating this additional back pressure, you could potentially overload the machine and shorten the life of it. With the Ava pressure washers, they have fuses in them, so if you create too much back pressure or overload them, the net result should be that you blow a fuse. If you blow a fuse, it's almost a way of the machine telling you you're doing something that's bad, and it's blowing the fuse to protect the machine. So be very, very careful about going off-piste and creating too much back pressure. It's a bit of a tricky area, isn't it? Because a lot of people will want to use their guns if they've invested in them. But it can be a problem generally with any pressure washer. So a final summary of Ava pressure washers. Made to last, with very, very long lasting warranties on them. Made not to topple over. Made with really cool ergonomics. Follow me hose reels. Loads of accessories, the variable extension, all of the units having a shotgun by default is quite a desirable thing. The range of different machines down to highly portable due to bigger, more powerful and working yourself up the range. There should be something there for everyone. It's a real tough market to get into, but if a brand are going to do it, I feel they have to raise the bar on what's out there already, and Ava, from what I'm seeing, are making really, really impressive inroads into doing that, and I think the future is going to be really bright for them as a company. Finally, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions around these, just before firing at me, because I'm not an expert and I'm still getting my head around them as well, and it does take a bit of time, have a look in the description to the link to the Ava website, and also the Ava UK store if you want to buy anything. You can see and explore some of the further accessories. I mentioned earlier on, what's my favourite unit out of all this? When I started and I first got my hands on them, it was the Evolution, because I thought it was kind of like the bells and whistles, and it kind of is, and it's got all the power and all that sort of stuff. But from using them and testing them, I've fallen in love with the little compact Go one. And I think I'm going to get some real good use out of that, and I'm looking forward to what's the word? Using it. It's simple, John. It's in there somewhere. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Really enjoyed this one. Take care.
Holding on to what I knew, the moment's gone. Where was I when you